Vintage Mini, the Tower Bridge. Welcome to London. The Autogefühl fans, I'm on my way for you to the international mini meeting. And what could be a better transport car than an old, really classic Mini? And I'm a guest here with my special driver, and maybe you can introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, my name is Robert. I run a business called Smallcarbigcity. We do sightseeing tours of London and corporate entertainment experiences in a fleet of classic vintage Mini Coopers like this one we're driving in right now.
So maybe you can tell us something about this car we're actually driving here in now. What is it, like what model year and how much horsepower?
Sure, so this is a 1974 Mini Cooper, and I've actually had this car since I was 17 years old. This car has come with me to university and I've now started a business with it. So I love this car with more than anything else in the whole world. It's done 77,000 miles and it's got an 80 horsepower 1275cc engine. It's a Mark III Mini Cooper.
So I was always asking myself, these vintage Minis, are they actually durable or maybe more durable than the newer ones? Or how can you mean, you got 10 Minis or something? 10
yes,
classic Minis?
10 classic Minis.
How can you rate the durability?
Highly. I mean, these cars are very fuel efficient, and you can park them anywhere, and service-wise, they're pretty good actually. We have to do oil services and spark plugs and air filters. Our air filters get clogged up fairly quickly because we're always driving in central London, the city. But other than ball joints and the usual sort of stuff for high mileage maintenance, they're pretty reliable and robust. I would strongly recommend them as a classic car.
So we are kind of reaching central London now. What would you say, why are people searching this vintage mini experience here?
Well, when I first started driving this car, I parked it up outside Harrods one day and noticed there were lots of tourists waving and taking photographs of my little car, and I thought this is quite peculiar, and I thought, why is everybody so interested in my car? And you know, really these cars are a symbol of the 1960s. They're a British icon, they're a British institution. And I thought, wouldn't it be novel to run a business only using these cars? And I think that based on the affiliation and the fact that people are so fond of these little cars, it's been successful, thankfully.
So that's the start of our international mini meeting tour. I really love this ride here, because I see so many small elements we also find in the new mini cars, and you see where this go-kart feeling really comes from. So enjoy the day with me here, and we'll see us now on the meeting.
The Queen is out at the moment. The flag is flying, the Union flag, and if she's in, the Royal Standard is flying.
We have driven east out of London today to Kent. This is the place of the International Mini Meeting 2014. 4,500 tickets have been sold, and so there should be about 2,000 cars here. Every 5 years the Mini Meeting is in Great Britain, and so especially here the classic Minis are predominant. There are actually also some new Minis, of course from the manufacturer itself, but also some fans tend to have a new Mini as an everyday car and the classic Mini as the enthusiast car. For this mini limo, by the way, 4 actually normal old Minis had to die. So, a guy from Netherlands put it together to 1. It is very exciting what happened in the last 55 years in the brand of Mini, and so we can show you here a short evolution of how the brand evolved. Have you seen Scooby-Doo? For some, this behind here might look just like trash. But if you exactly need that particular part for your classic Mini, this is not trash, but treasure. So if you don't find your spare part here, you probably will find it nowhere else. You can only hardly imagine how much work there was put in every single car you see here. Are you kidding me?
The car I've got here is a 1963 Mini that we took and did custom work on. We cut the car in half, and over the years we've shortened it. It was done to commemorate sort of 50 years of my father's business, so we thought we'd do something a little bit special. As you can see, we've removed quite a large section of the car, the front door section, the seats, and brought the back end of the car forwards and welded it through here, giving you basically this is a short two-seater Mini. Again, with the modifications, this takes a long time to do, so over a period of time we've added leather trim, black and pink to match the bodywork, nitrous oxide. It's got a 100 brake horsepower nitrous oxide injected 1380 engine, which has just recently been fitted in the last couple of years. It's running 1.5 inch twin SUs, 1380 big valve modified cylinder head, forged pistons, steel crank, and the nitrous oxide which is fitted up in here, which gives it quite a boost. Adding to it as time goes on, because these sort of projects, they're not sort of done, you know, over short periods of time. This has been 12 years in the build, and things have been adding, like the chrome work, the chrome wheels, the leather in the boot area is now being fitted out with leather trim all on the inside. This is all leather that's been matched to the colour of the car. Since we built this one, obviously being a classic Mini, the classic people who run their classic Minis are not too popular with the BMW Minis, so we thought we would try and bring something into it by bringing in one of the later Minis and doing a very similar thing to it. This one started off life as a 2007 Mini Cooper, and had been written off by an insurance company due to being rolled. The roof was crushed. It has never intended to be a convertible car, but buying a convertible section at the rear, we cut the car in half around about here and removed the hatchback, the roof aperture here, and then spliced on a convertible rear end, reducing the length of the car by 29 inches. In the process of doing that, we weren't too sure whether to, weld the doors shut, but as a bit of a gimmick, although they're not really functional, just to show the sort of engineering work that we can do, we decided to make the doors, which are all fully functional, work with all the remotes. The same on the other side, it's got the door on the other side as well. It's still a work in progress at the moment. The convertible hood actually comes over a bit like a baseball cap at the moment, so that's another bit of engineering work that we need to do to get sorted out. I've been converting cars and doing these sort of modifications. It's just really to promote my business. A lot of people say to me, what's that car for? You'll never repair it, and that's always been a bit of a challenge for me. I'd like to move over to this car here. This is a 2006 BMW Mini Cooper convertible. Came into my business, rolled, severely damaged. Just a bit of a project. It was mainly going to be broken for parts, but I took the challenge of repairing it, change of colour, converting it from manual to automatic, staying away from vinyl work. We had a friend of mine do the airbrush work as a checkered flag, changed the appearance with the wheels, kept the BMW colour but added another flip tone to it and put a bit of a flip paint over the top of the pepper white, giving the effect that we've got with this car now. But I use these cars basically really to sort of promote what I'm doing. These are just sort of bits of gimmicks to see the sort of work we do. I do have over here, I've got another vehicle that we've had for a few years now. This has been a bit of a development vehicle. Started off life as 1979 standard 850 mini pickup. It had been basically restored, but we've added arches to it, upgrades on brakes, wider wheels. The power output from the 850 was not an awful lot, so I went into doing fuel injection, trying to put fuel injection engine into a very, very early car. That was fine, power output's very good. Put one of our works conversion kits on it, which gave it up to about 90 horsepower. Since then, we've added an Eaton 45 supercharger from the BMW Mini Cooper S, different management system, and some more upgrades on the engine. The engine's now producing around about 175 brake horsepower. In my opinion, just what it needs to really get it going. It's pulling about 153 pounds of torque and running about 1 bar pressure on the supercharger. The interior has been upgraded as well to full leather. Unfortunately, I can't open it because it's locked at the moment, but full leather trim. We used all the fuel injection electronics from the last of the MPI engine cars. I wanted to try and keep the character of the year of the vehicle, so we had added the centre binnacle and used the electronics to run that. As you can see, it's quite a pretty vehicle. It drives absolutely fantastic. Another vehicle we got here, this is a 2000 Sport 500. Apparently there's only 500 of the cars made at the end of the production line. This car was bought in September 2000, was then delivered to John Cooper garages to have John Cooper Works conversion kit fitted to it. It's had various upgrades on it, suspension upgrades, brake upgrades. The dashboard has been signed by some of the cast from the film The Italian Job and some of the drivers from the Monte Carlo Rally. This car has been garaged for about the last 14 years and has only covered 64.8 miles. It probably won't do any more miles than that because we're going to keep this as an investment. But this is probably one of the lowest mileage and one of the very last the Mini Rover Sports Pack cars that you'll probably come across. Some of the other vehicles I have, going back to the earlier days when Minis first began, we got a Morris 850, 1959. This car was found in a garden. Roof was all squashed, hand painted, looking very sorry for itself, but still relatively sound. Took 18 months to basically restore the vehicle, keeping as much of the original features as we could. The trim, still the original trim with its original splits, stains on the seats, original steering wheel. Most of the interior is from the original car, obviously apart from the carpets and the door cards. Basically that car started off life very similar to this one. This is a 1960 Morris Mini. This has been found in a garage. It's been off the road since 1998. This could be a project that I may do at a later date, but at the moment we're looking at selling it, give somebody the opportunity to have a go with a car quite early like this. Some of the other early Mark I cars that we have, got a 1964 Mark I Morris Cooper. Again, these are becoming extremely rare now. Something in a find like this, has been in a garage 26 years. One owner from new. Nothing has been altered on this car at all. It's all of its original as it was bought. This car's up for auction. We're doing a silent auction on this one because I have quite a few cars in the collection now, so I need to make space. So this car is going to be auctioned off over this weekend. Sadly, I'd rather keep it. The last one I've got in the Mark I range is this Mini here. It's a 1963 Mini base model. It's got one interior, sun visor, very, very basic, non-opening rear windows. This came to me about 5 years ago, belonged to an elderly lady, and she decided that she didn't want to drive anymore, and rather than leave the car rotting in the garage, she'd like to find somebody that would display the car, look after it and maintain it. And I bought it off her approximately 5 years ago, and it's been with the team of the cars that you see that you've filmed today. Still very reliable, and it's out there for other people to see, you know, and enjoy, because these cars are disappearing slowly. They're becoming rarer, and when you come to a meeting like this, it's nice to display this stuff so people can appreciate, you know, what is still about. Basically, other vehicles that we have here on display are some of our custom cars. These belong to two of my customers that use business. Belongs to Craig. This car has just gone through some severe engine modifications due to engine failure. It's running a 1380 full race engine using a scatter cam. It's got Weber on it and straight cut gearbox, so it gives quite a nice sound actually. It's also got another little gimmick on the back, which is a flamethrower out the back, which maybe later on tonight we'll be cooking sausages with it. Both of these cars, this one and this one, they're friends. They've kept the cars very similar looking, pale blue and obviously the orange one. This is Mark's. Not quite as highly tuned, but very drivable, very showable car. Again, they spend a lot of their time looking after their cars, changing bits and pieces, bringing them to shows, and obviously I've the fortunate part of having them displayed on my stand as well. So I do appreciate their vehicles being here. Again, these sort of cars have had various modifications inside seats, dashboards. Up the top here we've got a full in-car stereo system fitted to the headlining here. In the back there is a subsystem in the back with all the amplifiers all fitted all up in the roof lining, because this type of equipment seems to take up a lot of floor space. So between the two of them, they've developed this headlining set where all the stereo equipment is up in the headlining. So very, very nicely put together cars.
How would you describe the relation between the classic Mini and the current ones? Because
current ones, a few years ago, there was a lot of animosity towards the what we call the BMW Mini. A lot of people don't really know the history of the BMW Mini because it was actually built and developed by Rover. The style of the car was done by Rover. People think they don't like it. This is the way to go, these are the cars, but really they don't understand that BMW Mini is the future for people like myself because these cars are getting fewer. But as time's gone on, obviously with the conversion I did on this one was to try and show the classic Mini people that these cars, the BMW Minis, are very, very customised. You can do all the custom effects to them, just the same as you can with these. I have found out now that most people that drive the BMW Minis tucked away in the garage, they have a classic Mini as well. So it's also helping preserve their classic Minis. Feelings towards them now, I think because the modifications are made a lot easier. There's companies supplying the parts like exhaust systems, body panels, wheels and stuff like that for these now. I think it's making it a lot more making it a lot easier to work with both models now, and they're not out of place being on display together. And I think they'll only get better because the younger generation now are being able to afford to run these. The custom parts, the performance parts, becoming more affordable as they're getting older. The cars are becoming more affordable now. So yeah, I do think they're starting to join hands with it now. I think they're starting to realise that one can't do without the other.
If you put Mini as a brand, as a lifestyle feeling in one sentence for you, what does Mini mean for you?
What does Mini mean to me? I think meeting people, the smiles that it puts on people's faces. I think it's just a very enjoyable brand. I think if you've only got to look around here and speak to people, and they're very passionate. I think passionate is what I'm thinking of for Mini. Very passionate people.